Rembrandt.
Hello, Father.
Adrian, here's your brother. He's come home.
Evening, Adrian.
It's a long time since you've been here.
Well, Adrian, I had so much work to do. I've new portraits, commissions.
That's good. The mill's flourishing, too. We're kept busy from morn till night.
I'm glad to hear that, Father.
You're just in time for supper.
You shall read the lesson tonight, son. There.
I considered the days of old, the ancient times. Will the Lord cast off forever? Will he be favorable no more? Hath his mercy clean gone forever? Doth his promise fail forevermore? Hath God forgotten to be gracious? Hath he in anger shut up his tender mercies? And I said, this is my infirmity. But I will remember the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the works of the Lord. Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. The waters saw thee, O God, the waters saw thee. They were afraid. The depths also were troubled. The clouds poured out water, the skies sent out a sound. Thine arrows also went abroad. The voice of thy thunder was in heaven, the lightnings lightened the earth, and the earth trembled and shook. But I will meditate also of all thy works and talk of thy doings. Thy way, O God, is in the sanctuary.
Meal, bread and soup, country fare.
Black bread, peasant's bread. I'm home. That's a vast little one.
Let me go.
Am I mistaken? Do I recognize that pretty nose of yours?
I've never seen your fat nose before in all my life.
You may kiss if I guess right.
Yes, you can have a kiss. But if you don't guess right, you'll have to buy me a pot of beer.
Suit you. Huh?
That's my sister.
You little Elsa? Well, the children grow up.
Oh, you're not a stranger. You do belong here.
I do. It's my home.
You know, you remind me of Adrian the miller.
I'm Adrian the miller's brother.
The one that went to the city and married a rich wife and became famous.
That's right. Now you owe me a kiss.
Oh, no, no. You owe me a pot of beer. You didn't guess right. You mistook me for my sister.
Kiss for a pot of beer?
No.
Kiss for a pot of beer.
Yes.
Landlord, gallon of beer!
I such a. Here's a man who knows us, who orders beer by the gallon. Don't have anything to do with him. He's from the town. Oh, I've never been to the city. Is it a merry life?
Every day's a feast day. Laying sausages on the doors instead of bell pulls, and the fountains spurt wine.
Take your ugly face away from where it has no business to be.
You old bullfrog. We don't allow town oxen grazing on our pasture.
Oh, but he's not a stranger. He's the miller's brother, the painter brother.
I know nothing about painters. I'll paint his nose red if he doesn't learn to keep his paws to himself.
You're Jan Derricks, aren't you?
Yes?
I used to lay you across my knee and spank you when you were a lousy-headed pup. He talks as if he belongs here, and looks as though he's just come from his own funeral. Now, look here. I used to sit and drink beer in this inn when all you lads were in napkins. And I've still as good a seat to my breeches, as much right to plant it where I choose as any of you fat rump peasants. Leave me alone, man.
Why do you come here and make trouble?
You're no use for us when you're young and went away to the city because you didn't like our country ways.
Yes, the smell of our pigsties is too strong for you. Keep the hands off our bacon. That's it. Get back to your city of wenches. I paid for my drink and have as much right to sit here and drink it as anybody else.
Drink that.
Drink it yourself.
Oh, that is one of us. Let's see if you've got a miller's fist.
I'll show you what a painter's fist can do. You. I ought to go back to Amsterdam, Father.
God be with you, my boy.
Mercy on us, where will it all end? 3 days and nights and not a sign of him. He treats his own house as though it were a plague spot.
He avoids it because you make his life here impossible.
Foolish, ignorant child. He's poisoning you with his own wickedness. All right, let him go his own way. Come on, come to church. And pray to God to make you a better man than your father.
Who are you?
I'm the maid.
How long have you been here?
4 weeks.
Haven't seen you before. Where's the housekeeper?
She's gone to church. It's Sunday.
Come with me. Take off your shawl. You mustn't be frightened if I look at you. I'm not looking at you as a man looks. I'm a painter. Painters have a different way of looking at things. You must imagine that I'm looking at you in the same way as the water with which you wash yourself, or the air you move in, or the light that shines on you. That's easy, you know, all the time, even when you're quite alone. You mustn't even know I'm looking at you. Pretend I'm not in the room. Well, I've disappeared. Make yourself comfortable. You warm enough?
Yes, but I ought to be cleaning the vegetables.
I shan't need any vegetables today. What's your name?
Hendrika Stoffels.
Hendrika, you're from the country.
From Zeeland. My mother has a little farm.
Why did you leave the country?
I don't know. I didn't want to stay at home.
I'm very glad you came, Hendrika.
That's no good. I want that frightened look.
But I don't feel frightened anymore.
So you don't feel frightened anymore, Hendrika.
Pretty tune. Is it one of your country songs?
Yes, they sing it at home in Zeeland.
Well, go on.
Oh, the next verse is a sad one. Lord of mercy, look at the dirt on this table. Anybody'd think the place hadn't been cleaned for years.
No, it has. Father always used to keep the door locked. Wouldn't let anyone in.
Who's the woman in this picture?
My mother.
She must have been very beautiful.
What are you doing in here? The kitchen's the place for you. I thought I told you not to talk to her.
I gave them permission to tidy the studio.
And I forbade you to set foot in this room. You get downstairs where you belong and don't let me find you up here again. And keep your hands off that boy. I suppose the father isn't enough for you.
You're not to speak to her like that. It's wicked and ugly.
Wicked, ugly. That's all the thanks I give for the years I've given you and your father. Where would he be now if it wasn't for me? My whole life I've worked for him. I've kept his house clean. I've cooked for him. I've scrubbed for him. I've nursed him when he was sick. I've brought up his child. My whole life's been one thought for him and his happiness. Now I'm no use to him anymore. First his kitchen maid. You needn't worry, it won't last. He'll treat you as he's treated me. You don't belong round here. We don't want you round here. Get out of the house and leave him alone, can't you?
No, I can't.
You can't. All right. I can. One of us has got to go. I'll make you sorry for this. I'll make you sorry you were ever born.
speak of the lawyer, my friends Dr. Fabricius, Dr. Vanessa, and Titus, of course.
Ah, and what can I do for you, Rembrandt?
I'm going to be married again. All right, I know I'm an old fool.
When King David was old and stricken in years, he took unto himself Abishai the Shunammite. King Solomon...
Enough of your Old Testament kings. They all came to a bad end. What I asked you here for was to be witnesses to my marriage.
Only too glad, Rembrandt.
And I want you to settle the formalities.
Formalities? You can't get out of it so easily as that.
Get out? Get out of what?
The Lady Saskia von Eulenburg left her fortune to her dearly beloved husband, Rembrandt van Rijn, with the proviso that in the event of his remarriage, he must make over 1/2 of the fortune to her son Titus. Half of 40,000 florins.
But I never got a penny of the 40,000
Oh, I know, but you accepted the bequest. And so far as the law is concerned, the obligation is undischarged. You cannot get married again unless you pay into the Court of Chancery the sum of 20,000 florins for your son Titus.
20,000 florins.
But it's ridiculous. I don't want the money. I'll simply renounce my claim.
You can't do that, my boy. You are underage. And in any case, the Court of Chancery has no intention of forfeiting this money. They're very sharp on these things.
Why am I only 18?
Oh, shut up, Titus. You're too young to know the world. You think it's a free place where you can do as you choose. Well, you're wrong. The world is a narrow cage enclosed on 4 sides by iron bars. You beat your head against those bars until you're sick. But you'll never get out. Never as long as you live.
I interrogated the accused woman. Listen to the words of her defense. Why did she submit to this man's desires? Because he was kind to me, kinder than anyone had ever been.
Why did she refuse to abandon him? Because I belong to him, and he needs me.
Is that, I ask you, the voice of lust, of sin?
It is the voice of sin which seeks to dissemble, disguise its true face. Such a woman is more dangerous than the vice which flaunts itself at street corners.
Yes.
Such hypocrisy spreads the poison of sacrilege and sows the seeds of evil desire in our midst. I ask you, dear brethren, why should that which is forbidden to us, honest and honorable citizens, be permitted to a loose-living painter? Why should he live in open sin with his concubine, whilst we are bound by the rules and teachings of the church?
We are.
No. An example must be made here. The black sheep must be driven out.
Hendrik Sterfus, your life and actions being such as to offend against public decency, I am compelled to pronounce the sentence of excommunication upon you. Henceforth you are forbidden to enter the house of God and to partake of the holy sacrament.
On behalf of the Bankruptcy Court, I open the forced sale of all the movable and immovable property of the painter Rembrandt van Rijn. We begin with the objects of art.
Can you hear them selling our furniture downstairs?
I don't mind. I'm very happy.
Are you? And we haven't got a proper house to go to.
We have a little house. That's all we need.
Yes, that's all we need.
You know, I never liked this huge place. At first, it used to frighten me, and then I used to think you needed it to paint pictures in. But now I know that all you need is a warm coat, hot soup, and maybe me.
You know, I've come into a fortune, even though they're selling my furniture downstairs. Come.
He was a good man, a just man. He didn't deserve this.
Deserve? What does that mean? A man without money is a vagabond and a rogue.